Welcome. My name is Marie, and you are listening to Hurricane in My Life. Hurricane in My Life is a podcast where I share my stories, life experiences that are ups and downs. I also occasionally, as you know, if you've been listening for a while, use my podcast as a way to vent and share more than ups. Usually a lot of downs. However, today will maybe be a surprise. Each episode is different and unique. So please sit back, relax, grab some water, as it's best for you, and best to get at least 64 ounces in a day. I want to pause for just a second. Please don't forget that sometimes trigger warnings are needed, they're necessary, they are. So if you feel the topic of today's show is too much for you, or makes you kind of have like that not right feeling, make sure that you do the right thing for you. And maybe that means don't listen. Go ahead, skip. That won't hurt my feelings. Or maybe save it for a time where you would be okay to listen. That's okay too. Please take the necessary steps you need to take care of you, as that's number one. Reach out to your safe person or people to recover. And remember, I am not a professional. I am just a scarred up person trying to educate others about my heartaches and life tragedies. With all that being said, let's get started, shall we?
Hey everyone, just wanted to give you a few tidbits. So, I just logged in today for the first time in a while, my podcast managing for my podcast through Google, and as of the 26th of last month, they said that Google Podcast will be terminated as of the beginning of next year. I believe I saw March. Just heads up on that. I don't know much more than that, other than there will somehow be a way to transport the podcast from Google to YouTube Music. I don't know a lot more than that, so again, just a heads up. Second thing I want to announce is I have been talking to someone that actually suggested using YouTube to promote myself, promote my podcast and everything, get a little bit more of my stories out there. So I have been contemplating that. I have been praying about that. If you could pray about that too, that would be great. And lo and behold, I have actually had a couple of people that I'm looking into and working with that are looking for business, trying to make sure they're legit, okay, that want to help me promote my stuff through YouTube and a couple other channels. And that would mean I would have shorts on my YouTube channel from audio that has been put together with AI just listening to it, and then pretty much using my words for new content. And hey, as a content creator, if you can use something more than once, you got good content. Oh my goodness. So enough about that. Let's get into today's episode.
So, as you should know, it's October. That means a lot of awareness to a lot of different things. Some of the things I've already touched on was spina bifida, first and foremost. That is what my disability is. The other thing, the next thing, second thing, whatever you want to call it, was domestic violence awareness and bullying. I covered them both in one episode. The next two topics to end out October will be ADHD and Down syndrome. I've had some pretty kick-ass friends with both. My best friend actually has ADHD. She's also my caregiver. She drives me nuts, but I drive her nuts too, so I mean, we're two nuts together, right? She's giving me dirty looks as I'm sitting in her bedroom recording this. And I'm trying not to laugh my butt off. And be serious, Melissa! Anyway, I've had some pretty good friends that have Down syndrome as well. In fact, my best friend, all the way from preschool, all the way to graduation, had Down syndrome. And she was a really cool person. Didn't want to get her mad. Probably one of the reasons why we got along so well. You didn't want to make either one of us mad. And I miss her. I see her from time to time yet, because we still live in the same community we grew up in. But it's not the same. And one thing I know about actually a few people that live with Down syndrome is, though they seem happy all the time and they smile a lot, they're just like anybody else. They have their moments where they're sad, mad, whatever. And realistically, people, they just have an extra chromosome. That's what makes them different. Other than the obvious of their almond-shaped eyes. And they also have a different crease. I believe it's a singular crease in their hand, where, as I look at mine, I have 3. Now, someone that has ADHD, they can be really psyched up, really hyper, comes with the hyperactive, right? And it might take them a lot more to convince themselves that they can do something, that they're a good person, and that they do things correctly. I'll give you an example. This week, my best friend and I have been working on both of our apartments. I'm sitting with her today as she works on her own apartment. She doesn't necessarily need me to help her physically, but me just being here as she works gives her a peace of mind that she's not alone. I'll give you another example of my best friend. Last night, she was catching up on dishes at my place. I won't tell you how many, but it was a lot. Like, a lot. Like, I think she did dishes for over an hour straight. And I was really proud of her. She didn't take a break. She talked about taking a break. And I did tell her if she wanted 5 minutes to go ahead and take it. But she did this instead. She told herself, without that break, I will get done. And then I don't have to look at them. I don't have to think about them. They'll be done. Done. And I was really proud of her for that. And I told her this so last night. And I was really proud of her because she gave herself a pep talk. Even though she technically wanted to give up. She wanted to stop. Her brain was literally okay, I need other stimulation here. I need you to do something else. Be spunky or whatever it's telling her to do. She didn't listen to her brain. She said, nope, I'm in control. Basically, I was like, I got this. I'm going to get this one task done. And then it be keyword, done. And, well, the past week or so, because of inspection coming up today, in fact,
I have been going out of my freaking mind of how I was going to tackle my apartment. Now, now, my best friend is my caregiver. And whether she thinks it or not, she is an amazing caregiver. Okay? And I'll give you a number of reasons why. No one else in my life, friend-wise, would get up at 2 o'clock in the morning because I called them in tears and answer that phone. Now, she'll do one of two things. She'll continue to talk to me until I feel better. She'll physically come by me and help me with whatever's got me upset at 2 o'clock in the morning. And she'll give me a hug at 2 o'clock in the morning. She'll dry my tears and tell me there's nothing to cry about. And she won't do it in that snotty way, like, how parents do, like, stop crying, I'll give you something to cry about. No, that's not what she means. She just doesn't like to see me upset. She doesn't like to see anybody upset. I'm a lot of the same way. I don't like to see her upset when she's upset. There has been times where I call her, it's literally 4 o'clock in the morning, and in 2 hours, both of our alarms are going to go off for us to get up and get ready for the day. But, say I have an accident, and I need her. She could tell me, screw off, my tired brain needs a break. She could tell me, my brain has other ideas, or I have other wants, or I'm going back to bed, screw you. But she doesn't. She will get up, come to my apartment, sometimes something like a herd of elephants down her stairs, and come and take care of me. And that's one thing I will talk about next month is a caregiver. And in my opinion, what makes a great caregiver and what makes a not so great caregiver. Not in the same episode, though. They will be 2 separate episodes. Because trust me, I have had my share of people that caregiving is just not their forte, or they've done it long enough, they just need to do something else with their life. But that's not necessarily my point. My point is, both my best friend and I are a lot alike in the fact that we don't give up. We want to at times, but we don't. And here's the other thing that we are in common with. When we have a task, when we see it, neither of us wants to tackle it because it's overwhelming as crap, okay? However, when we do tackle it, that task is not done until we see it's done. And no, I've never been diagnosed with ADHD or anything like that. And sometimes that could be the enemy when we're trying to plan something out. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I might sound like a complete idiot. And she might laugh at me for this episode. I don't care. I mean, I can't physically say what it's like to live with ADHD. I can only express the things that I see her go through and the areas that I see her struggle with. And I know there are so many people that get hard on her because of actions that she does or whatever. And I can be an ass about certain actions that she takes too. But I don't like to be. But she knows that I'm coming from a caring place. But again, I don't like to be. I only hope for one thing if she hears this episode, other than hearing me record it. That regardless her challenge, whether it's her ADHD or her skin disease, and I can talk about that in the future, she's always there for other people, not just me. She's there for countless other friends that we have and her family and whatever, to the point where a lot of times where she needs to remind herself to put self-care at the forefront of her doings. And hey, I'm the same way. So, here's my point for her.
she can conquer all things through strength. And that might sound cliche, and I don't care. But she's got the same person to back her in those hard times and good times that I have in my corner, and that's God. We are both godly women. She struggles, I struggle, but our one common denominator in any struggle is each other and the other people around us that love and care for us in the ways that we need. Again, I can't say what it's like to live with ADHD personally. I only know that when my best friend is struggling, whether it's mentally or emotionally or whatever combination, physically, the one thing that helps her the most is just having that somebody positive. So I touched about ADHD and the things that I see my best friend struggle with, and self-esteem is definitely a big thing that she struggles with. Confidence in herself she struggles with. And me, being the person that I am, I try to build her up. I try to get her to not see herself in that negative view, which is really hard sometimes, because sometimes that negative thought just stays there and it's like, nope, don't listen to Marie. And that struggle for me is like, come on, girl, work with me here. I'm trying to build you up, right? So, I mean, there's a lot of variables here. There's a lot of things that people struggle with when it comes to having a disability such as ADHD, autism, bipolar. They're all a struggle. And if you follow me on Facebook, I believe I just recently had a question on there of what are some things you would like to hear from me in the future. That could be anything. That could be more stuff about maybe spina bifida specifically, maybe ADHD specifically. Maybe I can talk Melissa into doing a podcast with me, but then I better be careful. She might want me to do one with her. But she's got her own podcast. And I can direct you to there if you ever want to listen to her podcast. It's called Mirror Mirror, and it's by Princess Mel. Right now, you can only find it that I know of on Spotify. If that changes, I will keep you up to date. But hey, shameless plug for my friend. Just putting it out there. I'm just putting it out there. Again, it's also awareness for Down syndrome, and the brass tacks of everything is people just want to be accepted, people want to be loved, people want to be understood. And that is my number one goal in life, is if we can get people to understand that in 2023, because yes, that crap still happens. Again, thank you for listening. You are the bomb diggity for supporting me. Be on the lookout for things to come. It is NaNoWriMo right around the corner, so you will be hearing updates about that as time goes by. Mostly they are probably going to be on my Facebook, so find Sweet Thoughts by Marie. It is named Sweet Thoughts by Marie because that is the name of my blog. Call me Cray Cray, but I thought of a different name for that compared to my podcast. It's okay. Again, some of the things to think about or be unaware about are all things that I have mentioned in this episode. I can't think of anything else. could be on the lookout for my monthly update of how my month went. That will be coming out this month for something different on Facebook. I just want everybody to know that I have in the works a newsletter. I don't have very many people that are subscribed to it yet. I will have a landing page in the description of this episode, so if you want, you may find that and subscribe. And anytime I send a newsletter out, it's usually when an important podcast comes out, or just I feel something big needs to be announced. It gets put out through that. And again, if you have questions or comments or whatever, please email me at sweetmariethoughts2022@outlook.com. Much love. Thanks. Bye. Peace. Mwah. Hey y'all. Thank you again for listening. It shows that what I'm doing is for good and that people do care. And I appreciate that. So, thank you for the love. Just know you're loved, you're cared for, you are all the things. Here are some ways that you can show support for me and show some love. You can find me on all social medias, like Facebook and Instagram, and you can also find me on Pinterest. I'm trying to figure out how to put my blog on there just to get some new people to read it, look at it, hopefully follow it. So if you do those things already, you are amazing. You are wonderful. Just know I love you a lot. And you can email me at sweetthoughts.by Marie. No, that is how you can find me on Instagram and Facebook. You can email me at sweetmariethoughts, S on the end of thoughts, 2022 at outlook.com. Again, I appreciate any way you support me, whether it's listening to my words as I speak them, whether it's reading my words that I have written. Just know you are the best for supporting me in any way you have supported me. Thank you very much for all you've done. It really helps me in so many ways, that more than I can really express. I am at a loss of expression of words. I really am. One thing that I know by your support, whether you read my words, listen to my words, or both, I know that I'm on the right path and that I'm doing the thing that I am supposed to be doing, which is sharing my stories, which is sharing my life experience. And I hope it does what it's supposed to, which is touch your life in a way to know you are not alone. I hope nobody that listens to me ever considers themselves to be a nobody. Please know you're somebody. You are somebody to somebody, whether you realize it or not, whether it is expressed or not. You are somebody to somebody, okay? That might not make sense, but I really mean it. You mean something to someone, not just yourself. Just know your love always, whether it's by someone in your life or by God. You know, I have my days where I feel He's the only one that backs me up and has me in my corner for the next round. You know what I'm saying? He has me ready for the next fight. But realistically, we all have people that love us, even though people tend to have a really cruddy way of showing that they love and care for someone. And that hurts. I know. I get it. I do. That's all I can say, people, is never forget, you are somebody. You are loved. You are needed. You are wanted. And sometimes a little extra prayer is all that's needed to help you figure that out. Or maybe a conversation. Again, I know I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Never give up.